Hi there, and welcome back to Triplicate, and what is part 4 of our journey down memory lane with a couple of Amigas. And in the last video I managed to get all my Amiga files off floppies and onto my PC, so here we have some of them. But they are in formats that can only be read by Amiga programs in the main. For instance, here we have some word processor stuff, which is all in Kindwords files .kw. And if I try and load one of these, darts.kw, don't know what that is. More apps? No, I doubt it. Windows Media Player, nope. Should we try Notepad? Go on, let's have a giggle. And it's opened on there. So form, so it's not. We're not going to read that. So I could sit down and write converter programs, reverse engineer the file format and write convert programs into some format I can read, but that will be a lengthy process. However, our good friends at Amiga Forever come to the rescue again. They provided the file copying program, and we have Amiga Forever. This was another €10, and it's an Amiga emulator. So here we go. I've installed it and paid them the money for it, and we fire it up, and yeah, we don't want the tip. So if we look in systems, we want Workbench 1.3, that's what we use, and most of the more modern ones you have to upgrade, but we're lucky that we had an old system that this fairly basic version will work with. So if we start that, right, it annoyingly starts on the other monitor. So there we are. We've got an Amiga on the PC. So now all we need to do is be able to read files and run programs on this Amiga emulator. Okay, so let's see if we can get our emulator to see a file on our PC file system, on our C drive. So let's start the emulator up. Here we go. So you can see here we have a shared folder, which is where it looks for files on the C drive, and according to that documentation, that is in, here we are, users public documents, Amiga files, shared work. So here we have a text file that says hello world, very original, I know. So let us put a copy of that in there, and let us go into our Amiga emulator. Where's the mouse gone? Well, let's see if we can see it. Nope, it doesn't come up just looking in the folder, but it doesn't have a .info, so we might have to go into here. So we go cd shared There we go, and we go dir, and it's not there. Strange. However, I found that if I go into shared workbench and put it in there, there it is. So if I now go type hello world.txt, there you go, it types it out. So far so good, even if it's not quite what the documentation claims. So let's see if we can put a program in there and get that to run. So here I have a copy of Kindwords, which is the program we use to read the word processor files. That's I wrote them with, and what we're hoping to read them with. So if I copy this directory into here, does it come up if I open that? It's confusing trying to use an Amiga and a PC. Shall we get rid of that and open it again? Yes, it does. So shall we open this? Right, so there's 3 discs which I've included in there. There was the extras, the dictionary and the program disc. So we go into the program disc, and there is, can we expand this a bit, the main program. Shall we try it? Oh dear. So we need to install the program, apparently. Okay, so back in the day I used to have a hard disk on my Amiga system, and I'm guessing this guy is acting like a hard disk. So there must have been some kind of installer. Now I can't see it on there, so we'll get rid of that. And what else have we got here? Dictionary unlikely, which is I think what dict is. Extras, should we have a look in there? And installer. Okay, shall we try that? Install on hard disk. Destination DH0 Kindwords 3. Volume 1 Workbench 1.3 is write protected. Okay. Well, it's sort of trying, but we've run up against a problem, so I'm going to have to look into that and then we'll try again. Okay, so how do we make our hard disk so we can write to it? Well, a bit of digging around, we find there are hang on, some little buttons on the bottom here which we need to be in PC, and okay, here we go. Hard disk drives. Disk drive is read only, so there's our problem. Can we simply turn it off? Alright, Amiga file systems are not designed to support change in read-write status while the disk is mounted. To modify the write protect status of this virtual hard disk, right-click the title, select edit and modify the disk properties in the media tab. Okay, etc. More stuff. So we need to go into here. So if we right click on this, we want to edit, which we can't. Probably because this is open. So if we shut it down, we can edit. However, we can also create a copy, which is probably better, because then if we muck her up we can go back to the original. So shall we do that? Copy of Workbench 1.3. So can we rename that to something nice? Edit. Edit. Let's edit. Title. That'll do. And I did have a look around and we need to be in the media tab, I think. Okay. I think I've got it sussed. So we go to media, built-in boot, edit, read only. Okay. Shared system disk allow Appin to be more compact and portable. These shared components are normally read-only because modifications to the standard may have other consequences on other titles. Would you like to embed a copy of the system disk in the RP9? If you select yes, a copy of the system disk will be embedded in this title so that any changes to it will not affect other titles. Okay, I think I probably do. Okay. Okay. So, shall we start it up now? Oh no, hang on, I don't think I needed that, did I? Shared. A bit extras, wasn't it? Let's do it. Destination is too full, so how can we tell it to make the disk bigger? Okay, fair enough. Onward and upward. So let's look at what we've got here. So if we look at this, we edit it and go in the media, we see that the workbench is a hard disk DH0, which is a HDF file. Let's see if we can edit that and make it bigger. No, we can't, and unfortunately I did quite a bit of digging, and although it seems it is possible to take those files are like images of a file system of an Amiga disk, and that one is actually only the size of a floppy disk, 800k, which seems a bit ridiculous really, considering the size of hard disk I have on the computer. And even just to increase it to 20 megabytes as the A590 was would do my purposes, but while it seems to be possible, it don't seem to be easy, and it seems to be more complicated than I want to get into at the moment. So I think at this point we need to abandon that as installing our software on a hard disk and look at another option. Now if we go into here, into games, we have all sorts of games which I'm not really interested in playing, but then if we edit these and look at the media, we have, let me edit that as well. Yeah, there we go. We have an ADF file, that is a floppy image, and we can make those using Amiga Explorer. So we just fire the Explorer up again, and instead of copying the files across as files onto the hard disk of the PC, we copy them across as an ADF disk image, and then hopefully we can make that ADF disk image into one of these titles or whatever they call them, and hopefully it will run. So shall we fire up the Amiga and try that? Okay, so let's do this. First thing, we insert our Kindwords disk into there, and there it is. We refresh the Amiga on here, and there it is, and we look in virtual files, and there are the ADF files. So if we simply drag that for now onto the desktop, it says about 12 minutes remaining. Oh good, oh joy. So I'll spare you that and the dog barking and bring you back. Okay, so we have here our 3 Kindwords disk. So let's see if we can make them into some kind of a, I suppose, an Amiga system. So if we go new system, right, so we call it Kindwords. There's a load of guff here that we don't need. Details, type system, genre, release. No, we don't want any of those. Don't want any extras. Configuration, Amiga 500, ROM 1.3. Compatibility standard, native audio, serial, PPC. Okay, media is the one we want. So add floppy disk image, and we're going to embed it. And this is on the desktop. Right, yeah. Kindwords 3 ADF. Okay. File system, whatever it says it is. Partitioning volume. This is, I don't know about any of that stuff. DF0. Bootable, yes. Right. I don't know whether we need to set these, but I will. Add. Hopefully. Extras, open. Okay. DF1. And add. Another dict, there we go. Okay. So that's it. So should we fire that up now and see what happens? I've got the headphones plugged in, and you can hear in the headphones sort of fake disk drive noises. How clever is that, eh? Hang on. Right, there we go. So far so good. Let's get the mouse in there. Kindwords 3 disc. And we'll start the program. And I can hear on the soundtrack the fake disc noises are going click, 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 click. And you can see down here it's the little disk drive thing is saying it's loading. Okay, it's finished loading and no program has appeared. Not good. We try something else. Preferences. Yep. The fake disk drive is going. And nothing happens. Oh dear. Oh dear, dear, dear. Okay, so I'm really not sure I want to spend any more time on that Amiga Forever, so what is the alternative here? The alternative is this. Genuine disc noises. And there we go. That's what it's supposed to look like. So if we go back to the workbench, into there, start Amiga Explorer, so let's just pick a file. You see I've already done one. There we go. So let's get rid of that. And let's save as RAM format, ASCII, PC style, TXT, save. So has that done it? Okay, so I just do that for a lot of files, very tediously. And copy them back onto the computer. Okay, so I've just done a couple to show you. So if we go into there, we get our Amiga discs. If we go into the RAM disk, which is where we put them, there they are. So we don't want the .info files, so if we just drag them onto the desktop, down they come. So if we open that one, it opens nicely in good old Notepad, and there you go. So that works, but it's a bit tedious to do. And despite saying I wasn't going to do it, I did in the end pinch some directory scanning code I wrote, and some IFF file format code, which is the chunk-based file format that most Amiga files use, and found that all the text is in one chunk, one type of chunk. So I wrote a little converter program which just scans through the whole directory, converting all the Kindwords files to text files. Which took me 2 or 3 hours to write, but once it's going is pretty quick. So shall we see what it does? So run, and off she goes. And when I say it's fast, each one of those files that it's listing there, I would have had to load into the Amiga word processor, export, and then copy them across using Amiga Explorer in batches, which would have taken forever, because as you can see, there's quite a few of them. There we are, done. So how good is our conversion compared to the one provided by the program that generated the files? Okay, so here's their version loaded into trusty Notepad, and here is ours, which I've loaded into a word processor because I have only put paragraphs at the end of paragraphs. So if you load it into Notepad, you just get long lines. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And if I really wanted to use the document, it's worth spending a little while reformatting it. So I think that part of it we'll call a success. Well, I think we have to call that a bit of a fail, unfortunately. I was very impressed with Amiga Explorer, which worked brilliantly for getting files off Amiga floppies onto my PC, but I didn't have any luck getting my programs, specifically my word processor program, Amiga word processor program, to run on the Amiga Forever emulator. Now, to be fair, it says in the documentation that the basic version of the emulator is really only if you want to play very old games. So I guess at some point I'm going to have to invest another €20 and get the sort of serious version and see if we get anywhere with that. But for now I'm going to leave it here. So yeah, subscribe, comment if you've got anything to say on Amigas, thumbs up maybe. And for now it's goodbye from Triplicate, home of interesting electronics. Goodbye.